Let's be honest, most people don't go looking for philosophy when life is going well. We look for it when something breaks, a relationship ends, a job becomes completely unbearable, a meticulously crafted plan falls apart, and oftentimes we are not even conscious that we're looking at our lives philosophically. Human nature is always about here and now, and that's understandable, but if we can pivot our automatic, emotional reactions to be philosophical, we can manage not only the issue at hand and how we react in the future when life serves up challenges. So, let's talk about Stoicism. Some of you may not be familiar with the term. In simple terms, Stoicism is an ancient Greek and Roman philosophy that teaches endurance of hardship through reason, self-discipline, and separating emotions from things outside of your control. Its core principle is that while you cannot control what happens to you, you can always control how you respond to it. Stoicism has survived for over 2,000 years because it answers a question that every single generation eventually has to ask. How do I stay steady when the world around me isn't? Believe me, you don't do it by pretending everything is fine. You don't do it by suppressing your emotions. And you definitely don't do it by turning into a robot. Through reflection, practice, and gentle philosophical insight, you can actually learn how to build resilience that lasts. You'll learn how to find peace even in the middle of chaos, and how to live with a sense of purpose that isn't dependent on whether people approve of you. You'll learn how to stop reacting to life and start shaping it. Ultimately, you'll learn how to become someone you can truly trust. Now, believe me when I say, this isn't a quick fix, and it's not a promise of constant, unbroken calm. It's a path, and most definitely a journey, that takes time, patience, commitment, and effort. It's a path you walk, step by step, and a little more each day. A path toward clarity, toward strength, toward a life that feels grounded, intentional, and fully your own. Let's talk for a moment about the illusion of control. At its core, Stoicism is a highly practical philosophy that teaches everyday people, just like you and me, how to lead flourishing lives. Lives of meaning and purpose. It does this by asking you to focus intensely on what you can control while cultivating a healthy mind. It encourages us to evaluate our desires, redirecting our attention toward healthy ones, which naturally fosters emotional resilience and positive emotions. You might be asking yourself, what is the ultimate goal? Well, it's to develop virtue, which is really just a word for life expertise. Often, we think of virtue as good and bad or in black and white. But the real meaning of virtue is about having a positive, persistent character that reflects standards such as courage, honesty, and compassion. Think about virtue in terms of shaping your moral character so you can be content, joyful, and resilient, all while contributing positively to the world. To understand why this is so powerful, look at Oprah Winfrey. She spent years trying to help a family member overcome addiction. She provided housing, emotional support, and even job offers. But nothing worked. Eventually, she had to step back. "I had to let go," she later said, "because their healing wasn't mine to do." Does this sound harsh? Perhaps. But this wasn't a cold decision on her part. It was absolutely clear. She realized that her peace depended not on fixing other people, but on knowing exactly where her role ended. Why does this matter so much? Because control is seductive, but peace is stronger. You can't save everyone, and you can't bend life into your exact shape. What you can do is release the illusion that you must. And in that release, you will finally find your power. Let's talk about precision over passivity. Think about the 1993 Wimbledon semi-finals. Tennis great Jana Novotná had a commanding lead against Steffi Graf. She was so close to victory. And then the momentum shifted. She lost point after point, and ultimately, she lost the match. At the trophy ceremony, she broke down in tears. But 5 years later, she came back to that same court, older, calmer, wiser. This time, she didn't chase every single point with desperation. She focused only on what she could control: her mindset, her movement, her next serve. And she won. Losing taught me, she later reflected. You don't control the scoreboard. You control your response. Stoicism doesn't mean passivity, it means precision. You aren't responsible for the weather, the financial markets, or someone else's opinion of you. But your thoughts, your actions, and your standards, those are yours. Obsessing over what's out of your hands only weakens your grip on what is actually in them. Try this right now. Try something for me. Write down something that's been stressing you out lately. Look at it closely. Underline what is entirely in your control. Cross out the rest. Now, take a deep breath and double your energy on what remains. A philosophy of life is simply a set of principles you use to navigate the world. Everyone has one, even if they've never consciously written it down. It's all about rewriting your unconscious scripts. A lot of people walk around living by unconscious scripts like avoid discomfort at all costs. I must please everyone. I need to control everything. I'll be happy when I achieve X or Y. Stoicism takes those broken records and replaces them with conscious, intentional scripts. I focus on what I can control. I choose my response. I act with virtue. I accept reality as it is. I grow through challenges. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the version of yourself who isn't constantly yanked around by fear, frustration, or impulse. To do this, you have to try on the Stoic worldview. It rests on a few basic truths. 1. Life is unpredictable. You can plan, prepare, and organize your life beautifully, and something will still go sideways. Stoics don't fight this truth. They work with it. 2. You can't control external events. Not people, not outcomes, not the past or the future. 3. You can control your judgments, actions, and effort. This is where your power and your freedom live. That's the Stoic mindset in one sentence. Control the controllable. Release the rest. To put this into practice, Stoicism is structured around 3 disciplines. Each offers unique techniques to nurture a healthy mental life. The discipline of desire, aligning your values to desire only what is completely controllable. The discipline of action, promoting positive relationships and acting well, regardless of how others respond. The discipline of assent, training yourself to separate your initial knee-jerk reactions from your final judgments, so you can align your thoughts with wisdom. Let's look closer at the discipline of desire. The ancient philosopher Epictetus explained this with a brutal, simple truth. If you never get what you want, you will never be happy. And if you run into what you've been trying to avoid, you will lose whatever happiness you have. Therefore, to develop consistent, unshakable happiness, you must train yourself to desire only what you can always have, and fear only what you can always avoid. Picture passengers on a commercial flight during heavy turbulence. The physical experience is the same for everyone on board, but the mental states are entirely different. The man in the window seat is sweating, overwhelmed by fear of a crash. The person near the aisle is fast asleep, and the woman in the middle seat is perfectly calm. They are experiencing the exact same bouncing and shaking, but they have different outlooks. The fearful person is consumed by frightening thoughts about the future. But the calm woman, if she is a Stoic, she reminds herself that she doesn't know the future, and she cannot control the weather or the plane. She knows that panicking does absolutely nothing to keep the aircraft in the sky. In fact, worry could incapacitate her, making her less useful to herself and others if a real emergency happens. Two people, two very different emotional states. Which one would you rather be? Disciplining your desires also means learning to accept the present moment or having an accountability mirror. If you want to act powerfully right now, you must react to what actually lies in front of you. Wishing things were fundamentally different is a massive waste of energy. This isn't meant to discourage you from striving for a better life. How could you develop the virtue of courage if you never aimed higher? But if you can't come to terms with what is happening right in front of you, your happiness will always be interrupted. To master this, you have to get incredibly honest with yourself. Look at David Goggins, the retired Navy SEAL and ultra-endurance athlete. He is known for his brutal self-honesty. In his memoir, he describes a ritual he calls the accountability mirror. Every single night, he stood in front of his reflection and called out every excuse, weakness, and lie he had told himself that day. He didn't do this with shame. He did it with truth. He didn't rationalize his bad choices. He recalibrated. That mirror didn't just reflect his face, it reflected his standards. The Stoic doesn't wait for outside judgment. They judge themselves, and they do it with clarity, not cruelty. Marcus Aurelius didn't sugarcoat his failings in his journals. He faced them, wrote them down, and worked on them. You don't get stronger by protecting your ego. You get stronger by breaking it open. Try this tonight. Stand in front of your mirror and ask yourself, did I live by my values today? Don't spin the narrative. Don't soften the blow. Speak the truth and use it to set tomorrow's standard. Ultimately, Stoicism holds that virtue is the only true good. External things, money, fame, status, can be helpful or harmful, depending entirely on how they are used. But virtues like justice and wisdom, they are always beneficial. By focusing on your virtue, you become your best self and use life's resources wisely. Your mind is uniquely yours. Cultivating healthy thoughts and balanced perspectives turns challenges into profound opportunities for growth. It makes the journey of self-improvement deeply joyful. When life feels too heavy, placing your personal struggles into a larger universal context can immediately curb negative thinking. The Stoics practiced a technique to adopt this universal perspective, and we are going to do it right now. Try this. Sit in a comfortable place and close your eyes. Picture yourself sitting there, right in this moment. Now slowly pull back. Imagine looking at yourself from the ceiling. Pull back further. See your entire neighborhood. See the streets, the houses, the people moving about their day. Pull back again. See your whole town, then your country. Keep zooming out until you see the entire world, a blue and green sphere spinning in the dark, perhaps even see the vastness of the universe beyond it. As you do this, at each stage, put your current challenges into relationship with what you are seeing. Notice that millions of others are also confronting challenges right now. You are not the only one, even though at times you feel like you are alone and overwhelmed. Understand that the world isn't so hyper-focused on you that your mistakes are seen by all. For just this moment, allow your troubles to fade into the distance. Find peace in the vastness of the world and in your beautiful, small part of it. You are special.